Hello, welcome to eProm Toast, and today I have a bit of a discussion planned. So, I recently uploaded a short of me at the shooting range shooting a bullpup shotgun that got 1.3k views, over 1,000 views, more than anything else on my channel. So, I'd like to lean into that a little bit. And today, as you can see in the background, we got an AR-15. Now, these things aren't as scary as Big Daddy CNN makes them seem. They're a tool. A tool for both home defense and homeland defense. And today I'm hoping to educate, break down how it works, that kind of stuff. Now, I am in New York, so I bought this in New York. No threaded barrel. I'm supposed to have a fin here. What I have is a regular A2 pistol grip. But what makes this legal is the Cali key. Now, this thing does not shoot semi-automatic. It shoots bolt action. And I am a left-handed shooter, so that fin, the fin that they make you put on it to keep it New York safe, a lot of issues in itself. For one, with your hand all the way back here, you can't exactly reach the safety selector. That's a problem in my opinion. Also, it's just cuts into your hand, especially if you're shooting left-handed. It's really uncomfortable. A lot of people knock these regular A2 grips. I like them. I don't mind them. I'm sure there's a lot better stuff out there on the market, but this'll do. So, you got your takedown pin. And yes, I'm unsafe. You got your takedown pin, and you got your pivot pin. So, we're going to break this down. First of all, I like to keep the ejection port cover closed. I'm going to break this down, just like so. Now, what you have here is your lower receiver. This is a 10-round magazine. Now, these pussy little things have nothing on what Texas has going. And just, honestly, I hate New York. If you're a gun owner, consider leaving New York. So, what you got? This magazine release. Inside here, there's a little, I don't know if you can see it. Anyway, it catches the magazine, like so. Your bolt catch release, right here. And the magazine's inserted, but no round is in. This locks the bolt back. But if you have a round in, I'm not actually loading the gun, this is in a non-functional state right now. When you have a round in, notice how this bolt catch release is not locked back. So, the idea is that when you run out of ammo, let's see if I can get this thing out. When you run out of ammo, the bolt, after cycling the last round, it'll lock back. So, you're out of ammo. So you just pop out your magazine, get your new one, bang, keep firing. Send a bolt home, keep firing. Now, there's not that much to it. Got your pistol grip, your buffer tube. Let me pull out the buffer spring. I'm using a pentalope screwdriver to pull out a buffer spring. Don't need a screwdriver, just anything that could push this down will do. And this is it. This is giant spring. And this thing. Put them together. Bang. No pun intended. Now, I'll show you why this is bolt action. So, on a normal bolt carrier, you got a gas key. Now, this gas key, when normal gas key, so let's say bolt is set in a position, it's ready to fire. Weapon off safe. You fire. Hammer goes forward, hits pin. Bullet gets fired. Gas will push this back. It'll push this back, cycle a new round forward, send the bolt back forward, and then you fire again. When you fire again, the gas from firing this will push the bolt carrier back, and rinse and repeat. Now, the thing about bolt action is it actually has a cutout. It doesn't interact with the gas system at all. And this locks in like so, which will keep it from, it'll keep it as one piece. So this doesn't move once it's all put together. So, what happens is, Kali key comes back, sends forward, fire, bang, comes back, you have to pull it yourself. Shit. I just dropped my bolt carrier on my keyboard. But you get the point. Now, the upper, not much to it. I got iron sights. So, yeah, fun. Change an aperture. Now, let's see if you could actually see, because I can see what the camera sees on my computer screen. Oh, by the way, I have a camera now. I don't need to keep using my phone as a camera. But inside here, I don't think you could see it because of the lighting. No, you can't see it. But the gas would go through this tube, go into the gas key, push the bolt back, cycle around, and fire. Now there's not much more to this. Now, let's talk about bolt carrier itself. So, what we got is our standard mil-spec bolt carrier. Now we're going to remove this is the fire retaining pin. Fire retaining pin holds the firing pin into place. Firing pin. Bolt cam pin. Bolt. Now the really cool thing about this is there's only one possible way you can put it in. The right way. And it's made in a certain way. I'm not exactly sure where. Okay, I think I see. Regardless, it's made in a certain way where the bolt cam pin, it'll fit through here like this. I think I could actually see exactly. It'll fit just like this, but it will not go in the other way. And I assume that's some kind of safety feature. So that's neat. You got your bolt carrier, mil-spec. Now let's put it all back together. So to put together your bolt carrier group, you want to take the bolt, slide it in like so. It's got to be lined up just right. If it's not, it'll be a pain in the ass. Okay, our bolt is now secured in place. Now, what I usually like to do is I like to drop in the firing pin from the top. So it's gonna go in. Oops. Oh well. That'll do. Push it in. Fire retaining pin. This will go back in just like so. Keep that bolt from going. Keep that firing pin, from leaving. And now my favorite part about the bolt carrier. My favorite thing to do once I finish assembling it. I could do that all day. So satisfying. Now, got her lower. It's actually still on fire. Should probably put that back on safe. Now let's talk about bullets. Now, I think it's a little crazy that the media portrays these types of rifles as these deadly evil things when they're really not compared to some other stuff on the market. Don't get the wrong idea, I'm not saying it's not deadly, because it's definitely deadly. Every firearm is deadly. But this is a 223. No, this is a 5.56. This is a 223. As far as I'm concerned, they're pretty much the same shit. 223 is the civilian version of the 5.56. .556, 223. Now, let's compare this to something like a 45 ACP. This bullet is tiny. This is essentially a 22 with a lot more powder and a more pointed tip. Here's a 22 long rifle for comparison. Now, there are some notable differences to keep in mind. This is actually longer, the 5.56 223. But you got the same width going on. The 22 long rifle is just as wide as the 5.56 NATO. Then we got a 45 ACP. This, and I'm sure many of you can agree, in my opinion, is far more deadly than this. And there was a funny clip of Joe Biden, the president, saying that a 9mm can quote-unquote blow a lung out of the body.
X-ray, he said a 22 caliber bullet will lodge in a lung, and we can probably get it out, may be able to get it and save the life. A 9mm bullet blows the lung out of the body.
Blow a lung out of the body? A 9mm can't do that, you know it can. A 12 gauge. Now, what's always bothered me is that these rifles, the AR, gets all the heat. I mean, yeah, it's a popular rifle, it's ergonomic as hell. There's a huge surplus parts market. You could essentially build them out of nothing. I can't say you can build them out of nothing, but you could go 3D print yourself a lower receiver, avoid the whole bullshit ATF thing, go ahead and build it legally, depending on where you are. Then again, who's gonna know or who's gonna care? Yeah, I see you, FBI agent, watching this video. Now, the thing is, I think that this is not more scary than a 12 gauge or a 50 cal. A 50 cal bullet doesn't even have to touch you to kill you. It could just graze you. The kinetic energy from that bullet grazing you at that velocity will be enough to kill you. ARs are not that scary. This is not scarier than this. No fucking way. So why does the media continuously trash, berate, whatever, fearmonger the AR-15? take what I'm about to say with a grain of salt, because this is more hearsay than my own research. But more mass shootings happen with pistols than they do with AR-style rifles. Because it makes perfect sense. Think about it. You want to shoot up someplace and you want to get your gun in without being noticed. Are you going to carry a great big rifle that everyone can see? Or are you going to have a pistol which you could tuck in your waistband, throw in a magazine, and take out as many people as you can before you get stopped? I don't know, that's my opinion. I think it would be much easier for an evildoer to do it with a pistol than with a rifle. But almost no media outlet talks about mass shootings conducted with pistols. It's always rifles, and it's always AR-15s. Now, we could go the former route, like Daddy CNN says, ban all guns. Then what? Get a man like this? Or a man like this? Left side authoritarianism? Or right side authoritarianism? There's an old saying in America that there is a gun behind every blade of grass. Now, that's a message I think we should keep sending other hostile powers that want to blow us out of the water. Because they'll think twice about invading us. If every Joe Schmo has one of these, I know what I'm doing if I see Chinese soldiers marching through my streets one morning when I wake up. I'm joining the fight. Not with the Chinese, of course, against the Chinese. And I'm sure many people can agree. So, why am I giving up my freedom? Here's the thing about the Second Amendment. Second Amendment is our freedom. This is freedom. This is power. This is what keeps an oppressive government in check. Because, interestingly, it is within our constitutional rights to overthrow the government. And the reason that was put into place by our founding fathers is because, well, God forbid we have another King of England situation up in here. The citizens can all grab their freedom sticks and go liberate the said King of England. But they want to take it away. They want to take them all away. And they're not going to stop. We need to stand by our Second Amendment, because that means we retain our freedom. We lose our Second Amendment, we lose our freedom. The government can start making us its bitch. Right now, the First Amendment is what's allowing me to make this video in all of my opinionated full glory. But, guess what? First Amendment is under attack too. First and Second Amendment are particularly under attack because information is power and guns are power. You strip away the ability to communicate certain information You control information, you control communication, you control a country. You also, if you want to control if you want to control a country, you must control communication and take out means of resistance. Guns being means of resistance, our freedom of speech being means of communicating information, a means of communicating how fucked up the government already is and where it's going. Now, before we go, I want to read one article. It's actually a relatively old story. Most of you have probably heard it, but it's something I want to cover for my point. Federal judge strikes down California's unconstitutional assault weapons ban. Torches media. This is from the Daily Wire. A federal judge in Southern District of California ruled late on Friday that California's controversial assault weapons ban is unconstitutional. The case is not about extraordinary weapons lying at the outer limits of Second Amendment protection. Judge Roger T. Benitez wrote, "Banned assault weapons are not bazookas, howitzers, or machine guns. Those arms are dangerous and solely useful for military purposes. Instead, the firearms deemed, quote, assault weapons are fairly ordinary, popular, modern firearms. This is an average case about average guns used in average ways for average purposes." I like that. One is to be forgiven if one is persuaded by news media and others that the nation is awash with murderous AR-15 rifles. There's a saying, murderous AR-15 rifles. The facts, however, do not support this hyperbole, and facts matter, Benitez continued. Federal Bureau of Investigation murder statistics do not track assault rifles, but they do show that killing by knife attack is far more common than murder by any kind of rifle. In California, murder by knife occurs 7 times more often than murder by rifle. For example, according to FBI statistics for 2019, California saw 252 people murdered with a knife, while 34 people were killed with some type of rifle. Not necessarily an AR-15. Californian is 3 times more likely to be murdered by an attacker's bare hands, fists, or feet than by his rifle. In 2018, the statistics were even more lopsided, as California saw only 24 murders by some type of rifle. The same pattern can be observed across the nation. The ruling was the result of a 2019 lawsuit filed by the Firearms Policy Coalition, FPC, great guys by the way, to challenge California's Assault Weapons Control Act, AWCA, which banned popular semi-automatic firearms. As noted by the FPC, the order included an injunction against defendant Attorney General Rob Bonta and his officers, agents, servants, employees, and attorneys, and those persons in active concert or participation with him, and those duly sworn state peace officers and federal law enforcement officers who gain knowledge of this injunction, order or know of the existence of this injunction order, preventing them from implementing or enforcing the following. California Penal Code, whatever this symbol is, 30515A1 through 8, defining an assault weapon by, quote, prohibited features. 30800, deeming those assault weapons a public nuisance. 30915, regarding those assault weapons obtained by bequest or inheritance. 3925, restricting importation of those assault weapons by new residents. 30945, restricting use of those registered assault weapons. 30950, prohibiting possession of those assault weapons by minors. And penalty provisions 30600, 30605, 30800 as applied to assault weapons, defined in code 30515A1 through 8. In his order today, Judge Benitez held what millions of Americans already know to be true. Bans on so-called assault weapons are unconstitutional and cannot stand. FPC President Brandon Combs said, "The historic victory for individual liberty is just the beginning, and FPC will continue to aggressively challenge these laws throughout the United States. We look forward to continuing this challenge at the Ninth Circuit, and should it be necessary, the Supreme Court." Benitez slammed the state of California, which is run by Democrats, for infringing on America's constitutionally protected rights. You might not know it, but this case is about what should be a muscular constitutional right and whether a state can force gun policy choice that impinges, I think they meant infringes, on that right with a 30-year-old failed experiment, Benitez wrote. It should be an easy question and answer. Government is not free to impose its own new policy choices on American citizens where constitutional rights are concerned. California may certainly conceive of a policy that a modern firearm is dangerous in the hands of a criminal, and therefore it is in good public policy to keep modern firearms out of the hands of every citizen. Huh? Okay, California may certainly conceive of a policy. Okay, I apologize for that. Benitez continued. The Second Amendment stands as a shield from government imposition of that policy. There is only one policy enshrined in the Bill of Rights. Guns and ammunition in the hands of criminals, tyrants, terrorists are dangerous. Guns in the hands of law-abiding, responsible citizens are better. To give full life to the core right of self-defense, every law-abiding, responsible individual citizen has a constitutionally protected right to keep and bear firearms commonly owned and kept for lawful purposes. Okay, that was an interesting article, a mouthful. Strained my eyes a little bit on that, but yeah, that was a nice article. Now, one of the things this judge said is an AR-15 is like a Swiss Army knife. I'm not quoting him entirely verbatim. I might be off by a word or two. But he was like, an AR-15 is not... Hold on. An AR-15 is like a Swiss Army knife. It is a perfect balance between home defense weapon and homeland defense equipment. And he's absolutely fucking right. So, why does CNN get to tell us what to think? why does the government get to take away our rights? Now, this video is done purely for educational and informational purposes only, and is more of a rant than anything. Please feel free to comment your thoughts, your opinions. I'd love to hear it. I'd love for criticism. Constructive criticism, because that's what helps the channel grow after all. But on a more serious note, it's just, how do I put it? The world is going to shit. Now, on a lighter note, I finally got a new camera, and I hope to be using it in more videos. My channel is a train wreck. I don't think this video is going to get any views, but I'm going to at least try and design a nice thumbnail. You've probably already seen the thumbnail if you're watching this, because it's done and it's on YouTube. Regardless. So, I got a new camera, and right now I have it strung up as a webcam on a tripod. So I actually have a camera set up. I'm no longer using a pixel camera, which isn't a bad camera, but you have to hold it. This I don't have to hold. See, both hands free. I'm not holding a camera. Yay! I do need a microphone eventually. I will get a microphone eventually, but I don't need it right now. And I definitely will get one though. So, hope you enjoyed, and I'm gonna be out of here.